Hello and welcome back to Cabincast, where there's more Star Wars discussion. That's surprising no one. It's D23 once again. There's a bunch of Marvel stuff as well. If we have time, we'll get to that in another episode. But today we're just looking at Star Wars, discussing that. We're getting some new stuff. We're going to start off with the probably kind of most irrelevant trailer.
Yes, the
which is the
Andor one.
Andor
Hi, I'm
one.
Thomas, by the way.
Now that's Tom. I'm Oliver. If you are listening to this and you know Star Wars, you should know that by now. But yes, apologies. So yeah, we're starting with Andor. I don't imagine much of this will be new, but this is very close to us now. So this trailer kind of matters the least. I'm already excited enough for this show.
Yeah, let's get hyped even more.
But yeah,
see if there's any new shots that are in there, or whether it's just a recast of the original trailer.
Indeed. Starting. So this is the Andor official trailer, Disney Plus, from the Star Wars YouTube channel. Starting in 3, 2, 1, now. To the start.
Yep.
Well, that's impressive. It never usually does. Ooh.
Yeah.
Starting.
Yeah.
And this is Rogue One audio.
Yeah. Recut there mostly. Oh, that's new.
I love the silver Star Wars we get, 'cause it's not the golden heroic.
Yeah. Oh, that looks new.
We've seen some of these places, but they're new shots. Yeah.
Oh, that's some good cinematography there.
And that's Scotland, I believe, not New Zealand. So
very nice.
That was Anathema from Good Omens. Clones.
Oh. Just quickly.
Yeah.
Oh. That vehicle looks like the proto First Order landing ship that we get from Mandalorian.
Yeah, a little bit. It's definitely got some similar stuff to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, again suggests that that's sort of like quite an old design. We're probably not gonna spend a lot of time on this because it is very similar. It's mostly recuts. Yeah, a new line there where Andor says something along the lines of, "Oh, they're very scared right now," which is true. The Imperials probably would have been. We get this guy. I'm not sure if we got him from the
We've
first
seen a lot
trailer.
There's so many characters that we're getting in this show, which is very exciting.
I'm liking. I don't know what this black sort of thing here is. It looks almost like a dress uniform. I don't know whether that's maybe like a dress uniform for Imperial officers. That would be cool. A cool bit of world building if they add that. Or whether that's
his cap's a bit different as well. It's also got like a black brim on it.
Yeah.
Rather than
I don't know whether that's dress or whether that's so they're there to in like a more fancy type of uniform as opposed to the actual military garb, which is very common.
Indeed.
Particularly here in the UK. Unfortunately, we've been seeing a lot of that recently. Let's not dwell. Or whether that's just sort of some new unique branch, whether that's maybe in reference to the ISB or something like that.
Yeah, it could be ISB. Definitely we're going to
get some more shots, presumably of Coruscant, or the inside of Coruscant here, with one of our characters.
Yep.
Saw Gerrera calling it war. That's the same as last time. Some more shots aside. What we now know, I'm pretty confident to say, is probably a prison.
Yeah.
And we see that Andor is actually going to end up. Cassian's going to end up in there. Better look at the Inkutsa cruiser. Better look at his little ship as well. It looks like it's shooting down what is either going to be a TIE bomber or a TIE bomber shuttle or TIE boarding craft.
It's a TIE something because everyone thought at first it was a bomber, then had a closer look and was like, "Hang on,
Yeah,
maybe it's not." Yeah.
it's. I mean, the design most reminds me of like the TIE breaching craft that we see in
Yeah.
Rebels and Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
That's the because I think we see Vader's personal shuttle with 2 TIE fighters and 2 what look like bombers behind it. But
Yeah.
those TIE breaching craft. That's how most of the stormtroopers got onto that ship. So
Mhm.
maybe that's a TIE breaching craft. Maybe it's a new TIE. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Who knows?
Some more shots of Mon Mothma, and I believe I'm just gonna go back for some more things here. I'm just trying to
Mhm.
find that scene of the dam because I'm almost half wondering if we're gonna get like a dam buster scene. Here we go.
Yeah,
That
there's
look,
a few of those shots. They look interesting. Yeah.
yeah, that to me feels like they're setting up like a dam buster thing, which would be really cool to see if they do that.
Interesting. Yeah. No, for sure.
Um, and yeah, this presumably is Scotland now that we know that this particular planet is being shot mostly on Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very pretty area. Look at that.
It really is. Yeah.
But yeah, I believe yeah, I believe that's all
Especially
we
with
have to say
having that
really about that.
that one, which is all. It's all very exciting.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
somewhat been seen before. Most of that's been
Yeah.
recut. There's only a few new snippets in there. This next one, however,
Okay. So, Mandalorian season 3 teaser trailer Disney Plus. Here
oh,
we go. In 3, 2, 1, now.
oh, these are those old shots from the other
This is an
series.
old shot, slightly different colours, but
Yeah,
it
like
is a
grayed
teaser
out.
after all. Yeah.
Oh, I like that transition.
Mm-hmm. Of Chew. Oh, the music as well.
Yeah, Gauntlet fighter there
Mm-hmm.
or Fang. I find it difficult to tell
I
those
can't
two
remember, yeah.
apart. The Gauntlet's bigger. It's like a
Yes.
gunship, whereas
Yeah.
the
That's
Fang
not
is
how
like
that
a proper fighter.
works, lady. And the Hot Rod. Don't know what those ships are.
That looks like
Boom.
Mandalore.
It kind of reminds me of Satine's home planet, to be fair.
Yeah, that's just
That's
both.
Mandalore.
Yeah,
That's the phone. Oh, so much Clone Wars stuff happened here. That's super cool. Oh, just getting more Mandalorians is just awesome.
mm-hmm.
Quake and Monk Lizards. Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Pershing. So many things happening. R5. Babu Frick, maybe?
Yeah.
Fireworks. Oh. And now it's him with the little Grogu.
Ah,
Adorable.
right.
2023.
Oh,
Okay.
is it? Hang on, let's put it to the end just in case there's something else.
Disney Plus.
Nah, it's just Disney Plus. Okay. So this has got a little bit more to talk about. So we get some new some old shots with like a grayscale type thing. Oh, hang on.
Mm-hmm.
And get onto the ships, and then
Yep.
gives him the ball, and then we get the hot rod landing on this planet. Am I making things up, or has this place changed a lot? Like, there's a lot more greenery about
Yeah, so I think
now.
it's the same place. I think it's just getting nicer and
It's
nicer with how
yeah,
Cargo's like operating it.
yeah. It looks really nice. There's like a city now in the background.
Mm-hmm.
There's a proper landing pad. The arch is all nice and clean
Yeah,
instead of being
they've just
rolled.
been
There's
making it look better and
trees.
better. Yeah,
Yeah, we
that's
get
cool.
that.
That's
Looks
what
like he's coming out the Razor Quest there.
the Razor Quest. The Razor
Yes.
Crest, you mean?
Yeah,
Well, the Razor Crest is
I
destroyed.
know
That
it
looks
is.
very Imperial. That looks actually like the bottom half of a probe droid.
Oh, actually, yeah, that does, doesn't it?
But yeah, you're right. That ship is obviously not like who's that behind him? Is that
Yeah.
Mando or Jin? I suppose because we don't have his name.
Yeah,
with the little lights, which is cute. So
it's
that
the
could be
same
underneath
design there.
Mandalore. Yeah. So I wonder if maybe it's something Imperial or it's just another ship he's found or something.
Yeah. So that is a really cool image, and I think it is a gauntlet. My reason being
That
is I'm
could
pretty
be a
sure we see
gauntlet.
a gauntlet later on.
We do. I mean, the Mandos jump out of a ship, which
Yeah,
almost is
which it
totally a
yeah
gauntlet.
that is a gauntlet.
You see the end of
So
season 3 Rebels.
it's such a cool aesthetic though in the storm, sort of going
Mm-hmm.
down there.
Mandalore, probably.
Yeah, potentially Mandalore.
Considering this is where he's got to go, right?
Yeah, he
To
has
become
to.
a Mandalorian again, and they're in her
Mhm.
Children of the Watch's really dumb rituals.
Yeah. Well, it almost sounds like the way. Ooh,
Oh
they
well,
look like
maybe a
Fang.
little.
They look like Fang fighters there.
I don't really recognise the
Maybe
design, but that's more your thing than mine. So
either they are. I think there's a Fang down there. I don't know what this one in that is shooting
mm,
is. It's not. It doesn't have the exact because the Fangs have a very sort of sleek cockpit.
yeah,
So maybe that's the larger gauntlet and that's the Fang down there. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure the one down there, that reminds me a lot of a Fang fighter.
mm.
Oh no, they're not Fangs, are they?
Yeah,
Look at
they're not
that.
at all. They're like I don't know what they are.
Weird hammerhead head shaped
They are
fighters.
hammer-headed ships, aren't they? Yeah, there's something else, which is intriguing.
Eh,
Most
I
intriguing.
mean, that might be just a different Mandalorian fighter design because
Absolutely.
the Fang fighter was a Clone Wars rebellion era, but then again, so was the Gauntlet.
hmm
Get a shot of him coming in through the thing.
Because
This
those
is a
windows look.
yeah,
That's. I mean, that is Mandalore. That's
yeah,
the throne room where they all shatter when we get the slow mo with Maul and
yeah.
Ahsoka.
Whether it's the exact same or whether it's been like significantly rebuilt, because you got to
I mean, it would have
remember
had to
it's
be, sure.
yeah,
Ah. Now, they apparently did use I can't remember exactly what they're called, but essentially the Mandalorian equivalent of the 501st, because you need a whole
yeah,
bunch of armor.
yeah.
um, and they're
Well, I
very,
mean,
very
the
ragtag here,
501st,
clearly.
yeah, the 501st does also kind of do Mandalorian, but they do all sorts of stuff. The
Yeah.
501st.
The one on
Um,
the right, when I first saw this, is like Sabine, but I don't think it's quite
no,
graffiti enough to be Sabine. But
no, it's not. It's
we
it's
are going to get her
interesting because
soon.
it almost implies that the Mandalorians that Jin is a part of helped break apart any
I mean,
unity
that's what
that
it sounds like from
yeah.
what
So
Bo says next.
are we
Yeah.
going to get a two front war with Mando on trying to figure out in between, or are we going to get a
Another
3 point
civil
war
war.
where yeah, well, I mean, it wouldn't be Mandalore
It,
without some.
yeah, it's what you do with it. Because yep, Colt.
Yeah,
There's the heavy grief looking better and better.
that looks like the Nebula from Rebels.
That looks like R5
Oh, that also looks like R5. That's true as
in
well.
Mando's Hot Rod N1 Starfighter.
Oh boy,
Uh,
it
think
is.
of think
It
about
is.
think about like like 5 years ago. You say you will one day see a Mandalorian with a Baby Yoda in a Hot Rod N1 Starfighter with R5 as the co-pilot.
Look at him as well. He's flying it as well,
He is.
and
There's no one in that. You're right. That's
yeah,
empty. It's just R5.
and that looks like
What is
the
that?
back
It's a
half
big
of that.
ship.
Yeah, it's big shit. It looks like it's cracking apart. I think that's Imperial. I think that might be an Imperial. I would argue it'd probably be a 1, knowing
Yeah.
ILM at the moment.
Yeah.
Or that might be in a cursor as well, seeing as we've seen that model and they'll probably want to be using
Hmm.
that. Or it could be a Pelter. That's the other thing.
I'm not quite sure. It's quite an intentionally.
Oh, hello. There we go.
Oh, hang on. No, that looks familiar.
That looks very
That
different.
symbol looks. It's definitely not a standard Imperial ship if it's Imperial at all.
That might be Mandalorian, or that might be a new aesthetic or a new type. And
Yeah.
he's not flying it alone. There is a Mandalorian in
No, there
there.
is Mando in there. Okay, it's just a shot. But that makes sense why the Yoda Grogu is actually in the cockpit with him more if they've got R5 as an actual astromech
Yeah.
unit.
I love the way the wings on this Fang fighter
Mm.
are like bending in the
Yeah.
in the heavy weather. That's such a nice touch.
And that's absolutely Mandalore.
Yeah, that's
Dome,
Mandalore.
which is destroyed from the Night of the
That
Thousand
is
Years.
an amazing
That's
CGI
gorgeous.
CGI shot. Look at that.
Mhm.
It looks almost. Yeah, look, the ground on Mandalore there has been turned black,
Yeah, in places from all the fire,
which is
literal and actual. Yeah.
yeah,
That's the throne room. It looks more kind of narrow, but maybe that's just Clone Wars
yeah,
aesthetic, maybe.
yeah. We
And
get
this is
this cool
Bo
drop.
using her logic of, well, I fought in this thing, and the dark saber should be mine, and
Yeah,
that's
this
going to
is
be an
a
interesting competition. That's an awesome shot. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
If we get more Grogu and her and Bo, that could be interesting.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Does that mean Grogu
We get
speaks?
some sort of assault. I think this is an assault on
This could
our
be Grief Karga's place.
yeah, on Grief Karga. I think.
I mean, yeah, because that's a Nikto from his like thing.
Yeah.
More Niktos. Grief again. R5. Potentially Babu Frick.
Is this looks suspiciously like it might be like Naboo
Najimi.
or maybe Najimi? Yeah.
Because I'm just
Like
thinking, if it is Babu Frick, that's where he is, right?
yeah,
Or maybe Nabino, though. Yeah, no, I see that now that you say it. Maybe.
yeah. It's the domes that do it,
Yeah, I
but
see
then
what you mean.
but I mean that's not necessarily. That's
Hmm. Could
domes are
be
still
anywhere.
yeah.
But
It
yeah, a
could
bunch
also
of
be
like,
Tatooine actually. Come to
yeah,
think of
true,
it.
true. Bunch of like Nikto and biker gang people. Um,
In fact, we're gonna get some Tatooine anyway because we know we're going back there from that other shot.
we get what's her name, Pelly.
Mhm.
Um, with her like droid squad. So
Yeah,
we'll definitely be there at least once. Maybe get some brief Boba and
yeah, it'd be cool.
Fennec Shand. See what they're up to.
It's interesting because it's very it's playing it very close to the
Yeah,
heart
it's
of
a
what it was
teaser, and
doing.
they've always been
Yeah,
very good with the trailers
yeah.
of keeping
So
stuff
my
quiet.
question is going to be: is this going to be like a situation of Mandalorian providing a third way? Which we know from
Hmm.
canon, the Mandalorians did also um have a third way because you had the true Mandalorians as opposed to Death Watch and the new Mandalorians.
Hmm.
So the long history of Mandalorian fractures and fighting over what it means to be Mandalorian.
Hmm.
It'd be nice if they touched on that actually.
Hmm. I could very well see them going in that direction. To be fair, so
Yeah, but
very
I think
exciting.
it's time for Tales of the Jedi though, which is
Yes.
the new animated
Yeah.
series from Lucasfilm
Hmm.
Animation. We
Along with
love
Bad Batch,
Lucasfilm. Yeah,
which
well,
is like we're not sure if that is still coming out along with Andor, or if it's going to be later. We will see because this comes out soon. I've seen that much.
yes,
So exciting.
yes,
If it's pushed back, Bad Batch, kind of sad, but I'm still very excited. So yeah,
yeah.
this is Tales of the Jedi official trailer, Disney Plus, starting in 3, 2, 1 now. But yeah, we really like Lucasfilm animation, as Tom says.
Oh, they're using those paintings that they used again at the end of.
Yep,
Oh, that looks incredible.
it's not quite Clone Wars,
No,
but it's
it,
similar. It's slightly more realistic Clone Wars, which yeah, that
yeah.
makes sense based on what they just said.
Oh,
Six shorts.
Was that young Qui Gon?
Anakin clones. Dooku and Qui-Gon.
Oh, it is Qui Gon.
Oh, Jedi Dooku. And young Mace as well. I get to see proper Swordmaster Dooku.
Hmm.
Best duelist of the Jedi. Ah, Rex looked so good.
Mhm.
Yaddle! Curved hill. And an Inquisitor with Ahsoka. Are we going to see her actually purify her
Maybe.
blades?
Right. So let's talk about this because there's a lot to. First off, once again, making amazing use of those background
Oh,
artists,
gorgeous. Yeah,
which
absolutely.
they used to great effect in season 7 and
Mhm.
during some scenes in Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Most notably Wayland, I think, at the end, and a couple of other places. These
Yeah.
always look amazing. I don't know who's responsible for them or who actually, like, whether it's a team or whether it's an individual, but whoever is responsible for these, you are incredible and you continue to amaze me with the way you create stuff.
Absolutely.
This is Schiller, presumably, where Ahsoka was born, which is a very wild and untamed planet, and I think they do capture that here. So we got
Monsters.
but you must face death, that type of stuff. The species that Ahsoka is a part of, which are the Togruta, have a big. Their culture is big into hunting. It will be interesting to see whether it still is.
Mhm.
And then this scene, presumably this is part of the Ahsoka arc, but this actually blew me away because that looks like the movie.
That's got to be like is that Padme? Like that looks like Naboo
That
and
is,
the
yeah,
thing that she's in.
it's 100% Padme. It's 100% Naboo.
Yeah, you're
Because
right.
those
It's
creatures
incredible looking.
were doing that. I
Mhm.
almost want to like bring up a comparison side by side because is an insanely detailed shot. Just spectacular.
Yeah.
And then we get the Force Tree and Dooku here. You remember the Force Tree
I
from
remember
Clone
from
Wars?
the stuff with Yoda and the Clone Wars, and yeah, when we do see young Dooku and everything's nice
Yeah.
and it's yep, big sad.
See Dooku, doesn't turn around. And then we get this saber-tooth creature, presumably on Schiller with young Ahsoka,
Mhm. Pat.
which is, yeah. I mean, patting the tiger, that's a good explanation for what
Mhm.
Ahsoka
So
tends to
I wonder
do.
if we will get a little bit of Plo Koon
Be
because he's the one
cool if
who
we did.
finds her. And
And then
that
we
looks
get,
so good.
again, that is such an incredible. The amount of effort put into this.
Yeah.
Surely this has to be the single prettiest. I mean, that is beginning to approach some of the levels that you see in like the top quality anime, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting because like anime is just like incredibly gorgeous, but largely 2D. And
Yeah,
in terms of 3D, like nothing really does
I
Clone
don't,
Wars
I don't,
stuff except
I think,
Clone Wars.
yeah, I think this might be the single prettiest 3D
It's very
that
pretty.
has ever been put. If you exclude obviously like photorealistic
Oh, absolutely.
CGI, which seems to cause people no ends of grief because certain people are, like, oh no, it's awful, and then we're like, but I didn't notice it.
We did not notice, but yeah, but no, that looks amazing. Just like the
Yeah, get
design,
Ahsoka's
everything.
mum
Ahsoka's
here,
still
and
with her
presumably,
parents,
yeah,
and
in-
you can really see Ahsoka in her face
yeah.
as well,
She's,
which is
and there's little young
there's
Ahsoka
little
again. It's
Ahsoka. It looks so
really, really, really
good.
pretty.
And there's Ahsoka now, and that's
Yeah,
almost real.
yeah. That's pretty incredible, and it's interesting because I'm pretty sure we see a switch between the two Clone Wars outfits. We'll see if I can see it later. I'll play it.
I mean, this is after we've had Ahsoka in like the film of Clone Wars and stuff, but before we get her later.
Yeah. So yeah, again,
That's Master
okay,
Sunube.
the Master Nube and Anakin there. Anakin's in his old Clone Wars kit.
Yeah, Anakin's in his old, but Ahsoka's in her newer one.
Yeah. Which is well, I suppose it's not an interesting choice. It's a better costume for
Yeah.
start.
Yes.
Dooku and Qui-Gon. That's going to be
Mhm.
really good.
It's one of the things that I always wish we got more of.
Yeah, and this is interesting. This is like some planetary police force and perhaps some corporate police force. We'll have
And
to
an
see.
AP5.
Yeah.
Hopefully, not actual AP5. That'd be probably a little bit too small universe syndrome, but an AP5
Yeah.
unit,
Yeah.
at least, which makes
Also,
sense. Mm-hmm.
look at those guns and tell me what they remind you of.
I mean, modern day
They're not modern
weapons.
day. They're they
Sorry,
look
I
like
mean, like
it's the
weapons from
German
that time.
machine pistol from
Yeah,
World War Two. It
yeah.
is it is basically exactly that. What was it? There was a big controversy
That was
recently, which
the
wasn't needing to be a
prototype
big controversy.
AK-47 in the last
Yeah,
Andor trip.
yeah. Well, I haven't seen anyone complain about this yet.
No, or any other time that Star Wars has used real firearms, which is
Yeah,
all the
Thi-
time.
this is a good shot with Dooku getting his lightsaber out and Qui-Gon trying to talk him down still,
Hmm.
and all the residents there behind him. So there's clearly some sort of conflict here.
Yeah, with villagers against Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon's like, I mean, against and Dooku's like
Using the dark
protection.
side, and then he like
Qui-Gon's
throws
not so
Qui-Gon
sure.
back. Also, is it just me or does Qui-Gon look like he has like a cross guard on his lightsaber there? I'm
It
sure
does
it's
a
just
little
a.
bit.
I'm
It
sure
does a little bit, yeah.
it's just like a trick of the light, but it
Hmm.
does look that way. This is the only way you will have victory, my Padawan. That's a then a concerned Qui-Gon. It's so refreshing to see young Qui-Gon. That in itself is really cool.
Yeah.
We get young Mace as well. More training here.
More Ahsoka training.
Yeah,
And that almost looks like, well, that almost looks like mocap stuff. Obviously, it's not entirely because you can't actually
yeah,
spin like that without the Force, but it doesn't look quite as like weightless as Clone Wars sometimes did in early seasons,
yeah,
especially with Ahsoka. We got Rex there in the background as well. I didn't notice that before.
yeah. I'm liking the Phase 2 and the Phase 1 clones as well. They're once again really cool. Some sort of droid there shooting at Dooku.
Hmm. And
Those
Mace, was
same.
Mace also his apprentice,
No,
or
Mace
is
was
Mace a Jedi at this point? I mean, a master.
Mace would have been a Mace I think would have been a master. He might have even been on the council because he was on the council at the same time as Dooku.
True.
And I'm pretty sure Mace was also trained by Yoda.
Yes, that's right. So we're
Um,
gonna get Mace again at the height of his power.
yep. And we get some sad Dooku.
Hmm.
We get
She's on
Bail
the
Organa,
Tiger and also Bail Organa. Yep.
and yeah, okay, so this is the Naboo scene. So obviously we're getting Ahsoka visiting the Padme's
Hmm.
funeral. It's
Yeah.
interesting because weren't we gonna get what was it? It was like supposed to be 3 episodes per.
We're getting 3 with Ahsoka and 3 with Dooku.
Yeah,
The
and
3
that's
with
the
Ahsoka are pretty clear cut. The 3 with
yeah
Dooku,
gonna be interesting.
I'm not quite as
Is
sure
that
on where each
all
one
we're
is.
getting, or is there gonna be more beyond that?
That's like for what they've done now. That's these 6 shorts.
Okay, then it looks like it's gonna be Ahsoka's childhood, Ahsoka
Childhood
training, and then
training, and then from
returning
uh
home.
from end of Clone Wars to where she ends up in Rebels.
Yeah,
With all of the death of Padme stuff and the Inquisitor.
yeah.
That's
Whereas
covering the Ahsoka book, kind of, I think.
Dooku's stuff is yeah,
Dooku's is all pre what we see him as.
yeah. Ahsoka, I'm tired of fighting, which is a good line.
More Rex stuff.
Again,
I mean, that almost
I
looks
t-
like when she
yeah,
leaves the Order.
yeah, that does. However, I'm pretty convinced that what they've actually done is they've modified her old costume to look like
Hmm.
her new costume there.
They've kind of mixed the two together, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah, which is good because the old costume was hideous.
It was very mid 2000s female young protagonist.
Yeah, and
Obi-Wan and
and
so many of the Jedi.
also it was hideous.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing.
Is that Lux?
I don't know.
Maybe, possibly. this is interesting as well because I
Like
don't
that's.
recognize these two here.
I don't recognize most of them except Mace.
Yeah, they're burying someone. The Terrace Nube.
There's Testanube and Saci Tin, Dooku.
Unless this is them burying Qui-Gon.
Unless this is Qui-Gon's funeral.
I mean, we saw it in Naboo, but presumably his remains would have been reinterred
Mhm.
in the Jedi Temple, so maybe
Could be him, but we never see Dooku.
Possibly.
But obviously, there needs to be 3 Dooku episodes.
Well, no, what I'm saying is perhaps they take it back to the temple, and then our last sort of thing with Dooku is him choosing to leave the Order.
I mean, we see Dooku and a little bit fighting Yaddle.
Yeah, that's about I'm kind of waiting for. We get this Inquisitor who has a really cool design. Look
He's
at that.
so cool. That helmet is awesome.
That looks almost like an Overwatch character, I'm pretty sure.
It looks a little bit like Reaper or whatever he's called, yeah. A little bit.
It appears that Overwatch has invaded Star Wars. Rex talking about the training.
So good.
Dooku versus Yaddle there. This is the works.
Yeah.
Oh god, I know what's going to happen here. I reckon the last episode of the Dooku arc, we're going to get Dooku going to seeing Qui-Gon's death, saying "I warned you," leaving the Order, getting approached by Palpatine, which he did in the Darth Plagueis books.
Mm-hmm.
And then Yaddle tracks him down to the works where he's having a conversation with Sidious, and they end up having a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And Yaddle presumably dies, loses it.
Yaddle, no. But yeah, it is Dooku.
Yeah,
so.
it's definitely the works. I think that's our final thing. Again, that Inquisitor is so good.
Is that a mask? Is that just the alien?
Let's have a little look.
And who's that guy? Is it just some guy or?
That I think that is almost certainly the mask, but it does look really cool.
Yeah.
I like the Imperial.
What's even more cool is that means Ahsoka's gonna kick his butt.
The fabric back there, just look at the fabric.
No, exactly. It's so good.
Jesus, that is
like
an amazing level of animation
and everything. So yeah, very exciting.
I really hope we get more of this.
I think we might,
because if as sort of like a side project to give us more Clone Wars stuff, more stuff about characters that don't have enough about them at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be really interesting to see, for example, 3 episodes of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
literally anything we could do.
Yeah. I mean, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan's the easy one. Mason Deeper.
Mason Depper, yep.
And then Depper and Kanan.
More Depper than Kanan, or Caleb at that point.
Yeah, which would be...
They could just do anything. There's unlimited possibilities.
Yeah. Luke, they could do Luke.
Yeah.
They could do Rey if they really wanted to.
They could. They could come back to that eventually and do some stuff with that. Finn and Rey, if they were both up for it eventually, because at least Lego has confirmed that Finn is properly a Jedi.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. There's so many options, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, very excited to see this.
Yeah, that's probably the most hyped I am at the moment for that.
I'm excited.
It's shaping up to be really good.
I'm excited for Andor because it's something completely different. I'm excited for Bad Batch because I love the first season. I'm really interested to see where they take the characters. This is more animation, but it's completely different to what we've seen before.
Yeah.
It's still, it's still Clone Wars-esque, but it's earlier, and that's interesting, and it's short.
I'm a big sucker for like almost sort of interconnected but standalone, very well written, very well sort of produced, very shortish in terms of the way they last stories, and that looks like it's going to be just that. Particularly in time periods that we don't have a lot of info on, and we still don't have a lot of info on stuff like during the Empire's reign, and before the start of Episode 1. And anything in my book before the start of episode 1 put down into animation is good, because it's such an interesting period of time. And heck, you could even see potentially like a Tales of the Sith come out as like as a co-equal sort of thing. That would be interesting, and that would allow them to delve back into that sort of more gritty Clone Wars takes on the Sith and that type of stuff on like what Maul was doing and what others were doing and that type of stuff. Maybe try to fill in Maul's characters between Solo and that, because obviously Solo left us on a bit of a cliffhanger where we know he's got a lot of allies and stuff, and they're all gone by the time we see him in Rebels.
Indeed.
I wonder if Kira's got something to do with that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Kira would be so interesting as a character to get more of. But
the thing with Kira, okay, is when I see her on screen, I always think Daenerys Stormborn, because her actor was also Daenerys. So,
and it's just she's an awful lot of things, and she's very good.
Yes.
But yeah, Emilia Clarke.
Yes, very, very good actress.
But yeah, no, we've got Marvel stuff as well coming out. A lot of that also does look very exciting, but we're going to leave this as here because this is Star Wars and we've talked enough about it. But yeah, excited for all that. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cabincast. For more episodes, go to www.cabincast.podbean.com or use the Podbean app. You can now also find us on iTunes and Pocket Casts under Cabincast and on YouTube. The uploads here are quite behind. Finally, you can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Cabincast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.